welcome everyone to episode 26 of Old Bollocks. That's right, I've done my homework again.
That's great. I'm glad one of us is keeping track of it.
Absolutely. Episode 26, eh? That's not a bad output for over 3 years, I think.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, and also none of our episodes have been like filler. We haven't like shown up and been like, nothing to really talk about. What's going on with you? Like we haven't had episodes like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but bear in mind that the show is based on like the new releases. It is impossible to have that show, really, isn't it? Because if we haven't got any stuff to talk about, then we don't do a show.
Yeah. Well, you would think that I would have way more to talk about. So much new music is coming out.
Yeah.
But sometimes like weeks will pass and I'll be like, wow, really nothing interesting.
Yeah. Nothing's grabbing you.
Yeah. Which happens a lot. And I listen to a whole bunch of shit, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff where I just immediately go, well, unfortunately this is not for me, but,
well, actually on those lines, I mean, look, I'm going to run this. I hadn't planned this, but fuck it. It works. I mean, I'm always Shazamming stuff, right? Uh-huh. I Shazammed a couple of things in a shop recently when I was in there because it was like alternative clothing and stuff, clothing, and I was like hearing some music in there. I was like, this is fucking really good, you know. So a great song called "Marching Powder" by Hyphen. Really like that one. And would you believe it? Bugger. It's not on here. I Shazammed something. I did it with my other phone, which obviously makes me sound like a drug dealer. It's two phones.
Two phones.
Yeah. And I Shazammed something. And do you know what I'm going to do? Hang on. We'll come back to this section. We'll come back to this section. Okay. And or we can just edit this chunk out.
That's too much work.
Yeah, true. True. For both of us.
Yeah.
I've just realised that means I'd have to edit it out. So now all of this is staying in. Mm-hmm. So I'll fire up the other phone.
Okay.
But it's I've found recently that is the way I've discovered a few bands is like either a movie or whatever, TV. In this case, I was in a shop, and it is actually really handy to just be able to, with the phone out, Shazam it and go, right, you know, what is that?
Yeah.
And then look into it and see if there's any more in it. And invariably what I found is it was just that song.
Oh.
Just that one song that absolutely works.
Yeah.
Then
I run into that quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember that years ago when I used to actually physically work at an office and they played music in the bathroom and there was this song that was constantly playing like all the time and I was like, this is really good. Like, what is this? This is almost like a modern person doing some kind of Bowie thing. Like, what is this? And it was fucking Harry Styles. And I didn't know that it was Harry Styles. And then I went to go, I'm going to go listen to his album. And I was like, oh, wait, never mind. It's just that one song.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm exactly the same. And do you know what? I've got my other phone on. The song's not in there either.
Here's the thing. Do you even remember what it was?
Well, I'm relying on technology here because my brain's fucked. And unless Shazam is going to help me out and remember what I Shazammed earlier, and it should be in the library, everything else is.
Yeah, usually it's in a history.
Hang on. Yeah, today says nothing.
Welcome to Old People Use Technology.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically, that's about the size of it. Oh, God, that is really annoying. That is really, really annoying. Well, anyway. I found a song by a band and I thought, oh, yeah, I really like that. Really like it. And so I looked them up and all of that. And it's just like really fucking heavy and like musically adventurous. The only vocals are in it are right at the beginning with the guy just going, ooh. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
It just struck me straight away because it was the music to a video of a book that is that's out now. You love it, actually. It's full of basically heavy metal flyers, and they've literally just photocopy flyers and create a whole book. And
nice, yeah.
it's decades of flyers, and we're in there a few times. Onslaught are in there, but it's all sorts. I got tagged in it because this book exists, and when they do the video, you can see a couple of our flyers as it's been flicking through. The music to that video, I was like, this is really good. Shazammed it. I swear I did. Although Shazam is denying any knowledge of this now. I Shazammed it, and it's really weird. They've got an EP, and they've got 2 other songs, and it's not metal. It's not in any way metal at all. I mean, some of it is like trance, some of it's beautiful female vocals, and there's just this one song which is absolutely brutal metal. And I thought, I know what's happened here. I'm in a band whose band name is the same as another band, and there's 2 bands the same name, and it's all got mixed up. And then I found my way to their YouTube channel. Nope. Their YouTube channel, literally, they have uploaded all the same songs, and there's this one song, Death of an Ego. Well done, brain. There's this one song, Death of an Ego, that is just absolutely brutal metal. Rest of it is just verging on trance and like electronica and female vocals.
So that...
No. Insane.
That description screams AI to me. you know, just the fact that like, oh, they just programmed a metal song for this particular one. I don't trust anything anymore. So
that's a really, really good shout, mate. That is potentially what is happening here. When somebody wants some really cool music and doesn't want to have to pay any royalties, but needs some metal music.
Yeah. I find stuff like that, and I will go dig to find out, are there actually people in the music videos? Do they have a social media account? Are there humans that look human?
Now you mention it, it's just one person's name as the composer.
I mean, you never know. There are people that are talented in multi, genre type music, so it's possible. But these days, I'm very skeptical about everything. So
yeah, no. Do you know what? I'll tell you why Shazam let me down this whole time. Technology's not the problem. It's the arsehole using the technology. I did Shazam it today. It should be in my library. I had my flight mode on, obviously, because of the record. So, what an idiot. So, Death of an Ego by Lunar Cascade. Okay?
That sounds like an AI-generated name as well.
Yeah, and honestly, the song I Get Anxiety, great. And the video, Lunar Cascade from 2024, Death of an Ego. So, yeah, if any of you want to look up Lunar Cascade, there is one absolutely brutal metal song, and the rest of it isn't.
Yeah.
So
if anyone wants to investigate and find out if that's another case of whatever that band is now that's AI generated that apparently has millions of listeners on all the streamers. Anyway.
Well, these guys are definitely not doing it for the listeners because they have 53 average listeners on Spotify. So AI ain't working for them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is possibly the most pointless section we've ever done on any show.
It's a little interesting.
Well, funnily enough, I had not thought of AI, but yeah, you're absolutely right. That could well be the issue that we're talking here.
Yeah, it really could be. But I mean, we can move on to actual music if you want.
Well, funnily enough, I was going to ask you: are you still being stalked online by Metallica?
Yes,
he's still being stalked on social media by Metallica because I fucking love this.
Yeah, the guy that does their social media, which is not just some social media intern. Apparently, like
No, it's James Hetfield, isn't it?
no, it's not. But it's a guy that actually like works on compiling stuff for the band, and like he's got other jobs too. He's not just an intern that does social media.
Right.
But he even at one point like just sent me a DM to let me know about something coming up on the website, and I was like, dude, you didn't need to do this, but thanks.
Wow.
So, and then recently, like I posted, because somebody asked me to unbox the Injustice for All box set, and I did that. And then Metallica, quote unquote, commented on that. And I'm just like, that's you know what, whatever. I just want to be in somebody in your camp. I just want them to know who I am, and that makes me happy enough for now. It could lead to somewhere or nowhere, but either way, it's better than before where I was a complete nobody. So,
well, the classic thing about this is that, I mean, not at that lofty level, but over the years with Talking Bollocks, you know, something's happened or I've done something and I've thought, you know, ooh, I can see a little bump in the figures here. This is like, this is really going to help. Yeah.
Yeah. You need something really significant and long lasting needs to happen usually for a big bump like that. So yeah, because even in a world where I get an interview with James Hetfield, that video is going to have millions of viewers, and then I'm going to release a video the next week that's going to have 200 viewers. So because that's just you know how it works.
Yeah, they're going to watch your video and go, James was really cool there.
Yeah, fuck this other guy.
Haven't got a clue who that guy was.
Yeah. But it's been cool. It's just one of those things where like I'm just using this as my in now. So like, you know, because I'm just tagging and responding to stuff, and I'm just like, you know, you never know. You never know where it will lead, but I will do my best to milk it for everything that it's worth. So,
hell yeah.
Moving on to a little music though, just because last time I brought up the new Dark Angel, and we had a little discussion about that. This week, I would like to bring up the new Forbidden and maybe get your 2 cents on the new Forbidden.
Since doing that, I have I've got to hang out with the boys when they played in London
with Dark Angel.
Yeah,
okay,
which was absolutely great because I mean I've seen Gene loads over the years, but it's great to catch up with him.
Sure.
Our new drummer. Johnny had never seen Gene live, and needless to say, never met him either, and is a huge fan. Yeah. So it was great to be able to introduce him as, and this is our new drummer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cool, yeah, nice to meet you, man." And I've got to do it. And but I also got to like have quality time with Gons, and with Ron. Who, funnily enough, when they were playing, I didn't see him before the gig, and whilst they were playing, I was not side stage, I was side, and he saw me, and he came round and came off during the gig, gave me a massive hug, and like halfway through a song, and just went back on, it was just and I got to hang out with Eric, and it just ended up they got to spend quality time with each of them, which was very, very cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was talking to Gene about, I was like, so how do you feel about, you know, the reaction to first single? And he was like, I don't care.
Wait, yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. He goes, I have a butler. I have a butler for all of that. You know, I don't go on social media. I don't look at anything. We're going to put our album out. We're going to go on tour. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll get a message like we did when we released the follow-up single. I just got a message. Hey, way less hate than the last one. And I'm like, cool. And yeah, it was just like, absolutely. Does not give a fuck.
Which really is the way that it should be. Like I would hope that they are just like, look, we did this, we like it. Fuck you. Who cares? You know?
Yeah. Just totally disengaged from, from all of it, and just do their thing. And yeah, I really like that. It was really cool. Really cool. So moving on, the new Forbidden single.
Yes.
I messaged Craig and Chris from Forbidden.
Yeah.
And congratulated them. I think it's fantastic.
So
I think it's, if that's the lead single, I'm expecting a whole of other variety. But if that's the standard, then that's a great watermark. That's a great, because I think as an opening single from, first album to not feature Russ and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it sounds great.
Yeah, I was ready to not like it just because I'm a big fan of Russ. And I really didn't want somebody trying to sound like Russ, or really I just didn't want a different vocalist, period. But I don't love the vocals are good on it, but I don't love them. But the quality of the actual song, I was just like, oh, this is good. And so the more I listened to it, the more I was like, okay, this guy's got a similar voice, but I don't feel like he's trying to do an impression. I just think he's a similar singer with a similar tone.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, for a modern band doing some shit, this makes me excited to hear more. And that's really all I can ask for a lot of bands coming back. It's like, hit me with something that I like it at least enough to where I'm like, all right, I'm in. What's next?
Well, I know I like it because I listened to it twice and thought, right, I'm not listening to that again, because if there's one thing I can't stand, it's overplaying a lead single. Then you get to the album and you skip that song every time you get to it. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll be listening to the album. Great. Also, I do like the vocals. I think he's a great vocalist. He's a top man. I met him at Bloodstock last year. Okay. Really, really nice guy.
Nice.
And come from a completely different place than not a thrash guy, not really a metal guy. So he's coming at it from a completely different place, which I think is the only way to do it.
Sure.
So yeah, I was already looking forward to it because I thought they would, when they got Chewy in on guitar as well, I thought, that's just stepped up the game again.
Mm-hmm.
Craig, Chewy, Kontos on drums, great vocalists, that's going to work.
I mean, at this point, I've been going back and listening to all of their albums again, and just the fact that they have all these albums that don't sound like each other, but they're all just so good. I'm just like, all right, well then, I'm ready to hear what they're doing now, because if they manage to, the juxtaposition, between Twisted End of Form and Green, those two albums, which are like my two favorites, I'm just like, they nailed both of those things, and I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever they put out, I'm in.
Well, back in the day, they were one of the very few thrash bands that took risks.
Yeah.
That actually developed considerably. That fuck with their sound, but song structure wise, I mean, some of their structures are just incredible. But they can also just nail the simple.
Yeah.
But I mean, I greatly underrated back in the day. And look, they had a drummer that's gone on to be in Slayer longer than Dave Lombardo.
Yeah.
Just a thoroughly impressive band. And I remember meeting them all back in the day. And Craig's just like an absolute dude. I saw him, funnily enough, for the first time last year, I think, since we'd met, when they were supporting Death Angel on the Act 3 tour. So, long time. But the weird thing is about those friendships and stuff, you just pick up.
Yeah.
Like you just walked out of the room and came back in again. I even know how to say his surname now, Lo Cicero, which I always forget to do.
That's good. I've never been able to pronounce that correctly, so now I know.
Lo Cicero. Yeah. But an underrated band from back in the day. It's great to see them back.
Agreed.
And also, fair fucks, independently recorded, independently released.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wow, that's seriously impressive.
Yeah,
seriously impressive. So, looking forward to the album.
Look forward to the. Obviously, we're going to review that one when it comes out. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Well, look. Let's move on to albums.
Yeah, let's move on to music. I've got 3 things, one of which we've already talked about. So you reviewed it.
Oh,
I can't remember when, maybe in the last, but I've since got it, so I want to throw my 2 penneth in. Okay. Or 2 cents.
I also have 3. So
oh, cool, that works.
Out.
And one that I meant to mention on our last episode. So this is rolled over from then, but it's from, I think it's from like 2023 or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool. So,
right.
Do you want to go first then?
Sure, I'll go first.
Right.
I'm gonna start off with one that is a debut album, and it was a surprise. And I ran across this album the way I run across a lot of albums. I'll see a cover art, and I'll go, "That's Ed Repka." And I'll go to find the band, and sometimes I go, this is pretty good. The artwork's better than the band, but this is one of those situations where the music was fucking amazing as well. The band is called.
So let me guess. It wasn't Ed Repka. It was Ed Replica.
No, it actually is Ed Repka that did the.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case,
the band is
that's
called
a lot to live up to.
Ready for Death is the name of the band, and the name of the album. I love the name of the album. Pay with Your Face. That's the name of the album. And the album cover, which I don't have any of the physical media for these, unfortunately, because Ready for Death and another one I'm talking about are en route, so I don't have them yet. But
right, okay. But they are available. They are released at present as we speak.
Yes, all 3 of the albums. Well, the last time I'm talking about hasn't been released yet, but will be, and will have physical. But the Ready for Death album. So they're a band from Chicago. And I don't know if they've been involved in other bands, maybe smaller bands before. Obviously, that seems to be the case a lot of times when a band comes out and sounds this good album 1. There's always somebody in the band that was attached to something else. But the album cover is literally like a military-looking guy with like rats eating his face, and it's exposing like that he's a cyborg underneath it. I think I'm remembering that right. But it was just one of those album covers where I just went, this is fucking great. But then the music is the kind of shit that makes me excited, where I dread having to talk about it because I don't know what to tell you that it is. It's metal, but it's got death metal, thrash metal, hardcore, sludge, doom. All of those things are kind of present at the same time, where it creates like a cohesive sound, but you can't just throw them in one of these genres. They don't fit squarely in a genre except for just saying it's metal. And even then that's not enough. But it's really it's pummeling, and like the best way to describe it is it's like stomping. Literally, it just feels like the album is just stomping through is like unrelenting. And it's 33 minutes, 12 tracks, so it's right up my alley. And the production is like kind of a stripped back but very well mixed kind of album, where it really fits the music, because the music feels like it's meant to be played live. It's not like there's not studio things. It just sounds like a band. And the vocals are like aggressive, but it's kind of like he's got his own little character for what he's doing. It's all very like, screamy, shouty type stuff, but he's got like a character in his voice. And the lyrics are like about some serious stuff, but there's a little bit of like tongue-in-cheekness to a lot of the ways that it's delivered. And
okay.
And overall, like, it just really feels like listening to the album, it just feels like it's a fucking steamroller of like urgent bangers that just keep going. And they don't, it's not like it's not all fast. Some of it's slower, but even the slower ones are just like, I have to keep using the word stomping. That word is always in my head. It just feels like it's stomping through the whole fucking album. And even the way the guitars sound, it sounds huge. And it's just a really nice surprise to find, because like, I see every once in a while I find these bands that like are metal to where, like, you know, if you're not into metal, you're not going to like this. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I can't really tell you what the classification would be. And
right, okay, so it's heavy, right?
It is heavy, yes.
The production you seem to be hinting at is slightly old school. It's not as laptop metal as.
Not at all. But it also sounds very roomy. Like, it sounds like they mixed the room sound into it, so it's got that real organic kind of sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it, a phrase I like to use, does it sound like it could go wrong any minute? Does it sound like this is a train that could leave the tracks any second?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes.
You see, I just from your initial description, and of course, the most valuable piece of information that you've given me so far, over the stomping and all that, none of that. The most valuable piece of information is 12 tracks, 33 minutes.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
And none of it sounds repetitive. Like, it's a nice
now I'm
variety of
thinking,
tunes.
you know, this is something that I can probably, you know, get my head around, that I'd like.
I feel like you would at least enjoy it. It's a fun listen, and I always love shit coming out of nowhere where, like, I didn't expect it.
Have you got anything to tell me about them?
They're from Chicago.
That's it.
This is their debut, apparently.
Much of a social.
They've got social media. You can go on Bandcamp. I think they have, so it'd be readyfordeath.bandcamp.com or whatever it is. Bandcamp, whatever. I'll put a link in.
Is it Be Ready for Death, or is it Ready for Death?
It's just Ready for Death. And they have their stuff's, you know, released on vinyl and on CD. Obviously on streamers, so you can go get it. And I highly recommend it. It is a repeat listener for me. It is.
But we don't know anything more than the band name, and they're from Chicago.
Yeah, as far as I know, if I had read something about them being related to other bands, they were bands that I didn't know or didn't know well.
Right, okay. I know what you mean. It's kind of like, ooh, if you've got Ed Repka, maybe there's some reputation here. Maybe this is like people from various bands who've just come together and done this, but apparently not.
I don't know, because I think the last time I tried to look, I didn't see anything that stood out as, because it's not on their Bandcamp. It doesn't have anything about like former members of this or whatever. But they don't seem like young dudes just by looking at pictures on social media. So maybe they've been around in some form or fashion, you know. Yeah. But
hey, you know, do some digging.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying, you know, listener, viewer, do some digging. You know, if anybody knows anything more about Ready for Death, then,
or if Ready for Death know more about themselves and want to chime in,
or if Ready for Death have this mysterious social footprint because they are in fact an AI band. I mean, you know,
that's some damn good AI. You know what? I'm on board for that.
I'm surprised you haven't thrown that out there already. I got to be honest, my friend.
Yeah, Ready for Death. You guys are so good. You might be AI. Let's just throw it out there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to follow up on that. And sorry, it was Ready for Death. And what's the album called again? Pay With Your Face.
Pay With Your Face.
I mean, can't remember band names, can't remember album titles, can't remember much, but like that's sunk straight in.
Yeah.
And 12 tracks in 33 minutes. Mm-hmm. So as is usual, once the show's finished, I will go and find some, and I'll feed back to you, bro.
Sweet.
Cool. Right, I'm going to do a follow-up on something you have already talked about.
All right.
And that is the new album from Propagandhi.
Nice.
At Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, suspicious title there, because you think, oh, please don't be. You've been angry all this time. Don't be being at peace now. Is this going to be like AOR?
Yeah.
And it's great. It really is. less hardcorey
Sure.
than than previous releases. To be expected. I mean, I was living in a place where I didn't think we were going to get any more Propagandhi. The fact that we have is to be celebrated. The fact it's this good is just an absolute treat. I mean, as always, they have got such unique song structures and such a unique way of fitting lyrics and vocal lines into their music. It's no one does it like Propagandhi. And I just absolutely love it. I just absolutely love it. You know, from the sentiment of Cat Guy, which absolutely is just great. There's like big chunky riffs in there where I remember you saying at the time, you know, you're gonna be surprised. You know, there's some like shameless riffage going on here, and I absolutely know what you mean. But it's still going to probably be in my top 5 albums of the year, I would have thought.
Yeah, probably me too.
And it's, you know, I know if an album's going to be in my top 5 if it gets stuck on rotation.
Yeah.
You know, if it's got legs, if it's got the legs to survive more than 5 listens, and you still want to go, you still a go-to, and you still want to listen to it. And very much the case. Really, really enjoying it. And just absolutely brilliant.
It's
absolutely brilliant.
It's so good. It got 2 Old Bollocks episodes out of it. Like that says
there
something.
you go. You know.
Yeah.
And hey, you know, if let's tag him, watermark this bit, and say, invitation's still out there, guys. Come on the show.
Yeah.
Be lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Be lovely to see you.
Yeah.
And also, proper old school fan here, you know. But I've even got the remastered anniversary package of the first album. Literally, I discovered these guys back in early 2000s.
Well, then you're not as old school as me. I'm just gonna say.
Ooh.
I bought their first album when it came out. It was 94. Yeah. So
well,
I win this one.
You do indeed. But yeah, great stuff from a great band. What can I say?
Yeah, I think I said this last time. The way that their sound has matured, but still maintained that sort of vital energy and even slow. If a song is slower, there's still this like urgency to everything they do, and so
also lyrically,
yeah, exactly.
They're just going to constantly keep you on your toes. Not a single word is wasted, and not a single subject is avoided. And I love them for that, because you know we're both big fans of lyrics, and being a writer myself, I find myself going, wish I'd written that.
And there's something to be said about those albums that are musically so good. You know, listening to it the first time around, you get so much out of it, but it's also the kind of album that you sit down with the lyric sheet in front of you to really get then it's a completely different, rewarding experience at that point.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of bands that do that. Most of the time you read lyrics because, you know, I don't understand something and I want to know what they're saying, but rarely do I go, oh, it's like a whole new, you know, now I love this album for another reason. Usually it's like, oh, that's what he's saying. Cool. You know?
Yeah. But, no, absolutely. Love it. Love it.
Sweet. This is actually a nice, a little bit of a segue, because Propagandhi, known for being very political and socially minded, leading me to another album that's politically and socially minded, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much as I did. The brand new album from Fishbone, which is called Stockholm Syndrome.
Wow! Oh, no, you've totally got me by surprise there. I did not even know there was one in the works. I have seen them doing some shows. I follow them on social media. I was a huge Fishbone fan back in the day.
Yeah.
Saw them on the If You Gave a Monkey a Brain, you know.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
Yeah, so long time fan.
Yeah, so this is their first album in almost 20 years. But funny enough, it's only their 8th album. So
I genuinely, do you know what's scary about that is I remember their last album coming out
yeah,
and you saying they've got a new album out, thinking like, oh, great, another one. But Christ, I didn't realize it was that long ago.
yeah. And well, this is good because if you're a Fishbone fan, then all I can say to you is that you will continue to be a Fishbone fan with this album because
it depends which version of Fishbone.
well,
There are many different versions.
well, this I feel like this blends everything that they've done aside from the stuff where they got a little more metal. That's not really there. There's
Is
a
Rocky
little,
George still there?
There's a little bit. Don't think so.
Right.
I believe on this particular album, the original members were the bass player, vocalist. I think there's another member that's been there for a while. But
Right.
that being said, the album as a whole is really impressive just because of the fact that first of all it sounds good. It's got a nice production style, but it sounds it's well done. It's hard to explain what I mean because it's not overly produced, but it also sounds nice. Like it just fits in with other shit from their discography. And
Yeah.
as usual, there's a lot of genre blending going on: R&B, punk, ska, rock,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And it's a great energy. And the thing is that the album is, it's about 40 minutes long or whatever, but it's got such a wide variety of songs, which is come to be expected from certain, Fishbone albums. But that's fine on its own. But the quality of the songwriting, especially like the first half of the album, the whole album is enjoyable. First 6 tracks, every single one, even when a song started and I go, okay, maybe this is one I'm going to not be as impressed. Something would happen in the song. There's a song in there called Suckered by Sabotage that in 4 minutes takes you on such a fucking journey. It might as well be Prague, but it's not. It still sounds like Fishbone. But songwriting wise, they're not slacking on that. Like they could literally just do a 2-minute, a ska punk thing and everyone would be very fucking happy with that. But there's a lot more effort put into songwriting here, and like it's not all amazing. I do think that it loses a little bit of the excitement in the second half of the album, but it's only a 40-minute long album. But I was just really surprised because I'm a Fishbone fan as well, and I could have gone either way. I just wanted to hear it, but it was just one of those things where just like each song, I was just like, God, this is really good. This is just so much fun to listen to. But, it's like the Fishbone thing where it feels like a party, but if you're listening to the lyrics, it's not really a party.
Not a party, yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't, find the free documentary on Fishbone on YouTube, which is absolutely fascinating.
I've never seen that, actually. I need to find that.
Yeah. It's on YouTube.
Cool.
Can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it is absolutely wonderful. And it has to be said that they are probably, and I'm probably paraphrasing somebody in the documentary, but they are probably the most underrated, overlooked band that I can think of. They should have been huge. They've never got their flowers. Descendants should have been huge. They weren't. And then Blink-182 and Green Day, stole the blueprints and became millionaires. But Descendants are getting their flowers now.
Yeah.
Not so much Fishbone. They just don't. They've never ever got the recognition that they deserve. Without doubt, one of the greatest live bands ever. And I remember in the documentary, there's people like Flea from the Chili Peppers and all the rest of it just going, how Fishbone are not absolutely fucking massive is beyond me. They are just they're one of the legends of the scene. And it's really weird because I'm a thrash guy. And so are you, and we love metal.
Yeah.
And yet Fishbone were part of the scene.
Yeah.
And okay, so they had a couple of slightly heavy albums, not that heavy, but for me, Truth and Soul is one of the greatest albums ever made.
Yeah.
That's in my top 100 albums ever, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that that they, even on album number one, it still gives you a like punk vibes, even if the music isn't necessarily punk music. So I think that's probably what it is that they carried along. They were able, and plus they were able to jump, and tour with metal bands or punk bands or others, ska bands or whatever. But I try to think about things like that, like a band like Fishbone, and the only thing I can think of about why they didn't become huge is because I think that they were always just too unrelenting with their commentary on social issues and political issues. And has there ever been a band that got really popular whose lyrics were that?
Rage Against the Machine.
Well, never mind then. You nailed it right there. So I don't really know. But you do have a good point. Like, they were good enough to where, I mean, they got their major label time like everybody else, but yeah, you didn't see them on regular rotation on MTV, which they had plenty of songs that they could have been. They were good enough. And
Sunless Saturday got a fair few plays, I remember back in the day. But I've also just had a flashback to when I was on this European tour in 1989, and one of the things I was looking for was the first Fishbone album on CD or anything like that. I ended up settling for a compilation that I found, which was just absolutely brilliant. I was like chuffed to pieces. It was like, I think it was the first album plus some rarities and stuff like that. And I mean, it's really, wow.
So anyway, this album is
two
called,
things I got to check
this album is called Stockholm Syndrome, is what it's called, and it's out there, already out. Physical copies available for everyone to buy.
And for those of you that do not know what Stockholm Syndrome is, there was a famous hijacking, and people were held as human bargaining chips, if you like, which took place in Stockholm Airport back in the 70s, 80s, something like that. And the people who were being held hostage, basically a hostage situation, which is what I should have said earlier. The hostages basically, when they were released, sort of defended their captors, and they had bonded, and they'd become friends.
Yeah.
And so to this day, Stockholm syndrome is still a thing.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
And in this case, it's kind of referring to the U.S.
Right. Okay.
Certain portions of the U.S. anyway.
Well, that's another thing I've got to be checking out.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, it's definitely worth it, because it's for fans of Fishbone, you're not disappointed. When it comes to members being in and out of the band, I'm not big enough of a fan to really hear the difference. I've heard the albums, and I'm just like, well, this sounds like a good Fishbone album to me. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'm also going to do something that is, it came out in June. And this is the new album by Teutonic Big Four band Sodom.
Oh, okay.
And the album is called The Arsonist.
Okay.
Now, I've had an on and off relationship with Sodom over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been they're in their 40th year or something like that. So, fair fucks. They're just having that length of career is insane.
And a steady output, if I remember right, ever since the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank Blackfire's back on this album, and honestly, clearly they have gone for a stripped back production. The drums I don't think the drums are gridded. I think this is quite a live album. to the extent that sometimes when you're listening to the drums, you think like, "Oh, that's a bit odd." And what you're hearing is a human being play the drums. You're just not familiar with that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not familiar with that anymore. That it's not absolutely isolated down to each single beat being in the right place. No, but that adds to the sense of excitement. And there's sure, there's nods to Slayer here and there. Who cares? I mean, this is Sodom. They were doing Slayer before Slayer was Slayer. But there's just a kind of relentless intensity and energy to it that no band that's been around as long as them should still be able to captivate. I'm just really, really surprised. I thought it would be a workman-like the new Sodom album, 3 out of 5. If you like Sodom, cool. But it's grown on me because I think, we always talk about like when you bring your preconceptions to something, you're actually making it harder for yourself to like something. And that's what I did. Because I when I first got it, I was like, the mindset was Sodom album, 3 out of 5, solid. And then it took me, on first listen, I was like, that's cool. That's better than I was expecting. And then the more listens, and you start going, oh, I like this song. Yeah, I like this. And then you get, I do like a lot of songs on this album. I might have to play it again. And then after about 5 or 6 listens, I was just like, I really like this. I really like this. Now, I'm no Sodom expert, but all I can say is I'm not even going to compare it to any other release because I'm not a Sodom expert. But this release, in isolation, to me, is way, way better than anyone has the right to expect. It's just, it's live. It's intense. And honestly, there is a song on there, and I can't remember which one it is, which is really annoying me. But there's a song on there which is the best Slayer track Slayer have never recorded. Yeah, and it's better than anything on fucking Repentless. I mean, it's just and at times the vocals are so raw and like it's like listening to a young Tom Araya at times. Yeah. The riffage is awesome, drums and it just sounds like if you like old school thrash, you will love this album. If you like Sodom, you will love this album. If you like stuff that has just got a passion and an energy to it and is like, I hate to use a phrase, but like thrash metal used to be, but up to date. Yeah. How the hell a band who's been around 40 years is able to do this is beyond me. But I really, really fucking like The Arsonist. And yeah, works for me. It works for me.
Nice. I've not heard it yet. But I also am not a huge Sodom fan, but I've heard albums. I think my problem is the last one I heard of them, which has been several years now, was exactly what you're saying, where I was like, I'd give it 3. It was fine. It didn't really excite me, but this sounds, I don't know. I'm all about these bands coming back and having that vitality and just that, I don't know, that sound like they sound like the important bands that they are, because obviously you got that big four from Germany, and they earned their place in that. So I always like to hear these bands. Same thing with I complain about modern Creator stuff. I would love to hear Creator come out with an album where I was just like, whoa, this is way better than I expected. So
yeah, well, I mean, this is as I think to adopt a phrase of yours, it's a stripped back production. I like that. I think Frank Blackfire returning, it just seems to have kicked everybody in the ass. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know, obviously. But very, very impressed, and I can highly recommend it. Nice. I really can, and especially especially if you're kind of like, I don't know, everything around at the moment, it's a little bit, it's a little bit overproduced, or it's, and you mentioned Creator there, and, Creator very much sort of doing the massive production and, and then kind of basically sort of glorified heavy Iron Maiden these days. Sodom, like, have really stayed true to themselves on this album, but, like, up their game. Great work.
Nice. I love that this has been a love fest so far.
It has. But I mean, genuinely, we usually want to talk about stuff that we like, don't we? Because we want to, I mean,
yeah.
I don't see the point. And I don't get me wrong, I'm all for slagging stuff off. Okay. And as I have done, I'm looking at you, four-stroke Baron. But I just kind of don't want to. It's almost like you don't want people to spend their time listening on something you're basically telling them not to listen to.
Yeah.
But then again, it's all gravy. It's all gravy. Because I remember, I can't even remember the band who it was an old thrash band beginning with A. Can't remember. They brought an album out about a year ago, and I was just like, meh, big fat fucking meh. Why did you even come back? This is, atrophy. That's it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was just like, it's just not very good in my opinion. And you get people in the comments going, I loved Atrophy back in the day. Didn't even know they had a new album out. Just got it. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
So, there it is.
Yeah.
People get to know it's out there, even if we don't like it. So, there you go.
Then, I guess, if we do come to that, because if it's something that I'm really looking forward to and I don't like it, I will talk about how I don't like it. But
yes,
in this case, that's not happening on this episode.
Unless of course it's Cryptosis.
Okay.
I'm on fire today, mate.
Yeah.
Cryptosis, Rage Against the Machine. Hey, whatever problem you got, I can solve.
That's true. But I still got one more, and the love fest continues. And this is another band I didn't know prior to this. And this album does not come out until September 26th. So we've got months. You've got months. I'm giving you this shit early. But the band, it's a death metal band. They are called Last Retch. They're from Ontario, Canada, in the Canadas. And the album is called Abject, Cruelty. And it is one of those ones that came across my inbox and had enough going for it.
It came across my inbox.
Well, that's what it is.
It's just like,
literally.
What, are you president of a fucking record label or something?
I should be, but I get promos, and I usually will try to listen to a lot of them. And most of the time, it doesn't click with me. But this one clicked with me on like every level, because it's the kind of death metal that I really enjoy, which is it's an older school sound, not relying so heavily on your blast beats and your rapid double kick all the time. It's slow, it's heavy, it's got some groove to it, but it's death metal. And the production brings all that out to where it sounds big and fat and heavy the way a death metal album's supposed to be. Drums don't sound all clicky and shit. It just sounds heavy. And it's 8 tracks. It's no bullshit. It is like in comparison to Ready for Death. This is literally, there's no way you can't say this is death metal. It is a death metal album, but it's got really great songs and really great riffs. Apparently, this is their second full length, and I hadn't heard of them until now. But the funny thing is that they formed in 2021, which doesn't seem that long ago, but then you have to remember all of the bands that formed around COVID. Like, I feel like COVID was bad in certain ways, but I think for certain kinds of creativity, all of a sudden, bands were born around that time and all this other shit. But yeah, Last Retch, great band. I haven't gone back to listen to their first album yet, so I don't really know what to say about their discography. My dog does. He knows what to say about it. He knows. He's like, I love the vocals. They're really
He's just
good.
kicking in there.
Yeah,
just kicking in with his opinion there.
Yeah,
that's some serious death metal barking you got there.
Yeah. But yes, great death metal album from a band that I didn't know. And you can go, I'll put on my video site. I apologize for podcast listeners, but you can, they're on a Bandcamp, Last Retch Bandcamp, but, you can go pre-order physical copies. Unfortunately, I think at this point, the vinyl is coming from Italy. So for, my American peeps, there's shipping involved in that. And but it wasn't too bad. I pre-ordered it because I liked it so much, and it actually was relatively affordable for something having to come. Can
I just point out that if they're Italian, there's shipping involved for everybody other than people who live in Italy. And even there's shipping involved as well.
Wouldn't it be more expensive over here than to you? I don't know.
Well, since we left Europe, you'd be surprised.
I never know. I just know on my side of things, whenever anything comes from non-America, sometimes it's like shipping $50 or something like that.
I have given up on buying some really cool T-shirts from the States and then seeing what shipping's going to cost me.
Yeah. It's whatever. We could talk about all that shit, just everything going on with shipping.
I know, man.
And bands not being able to fucking tour for whatever stupid reasons, but
the world was supposed to get smaller, and for bands, it's just got fucking bigger.
Yeah, it's just because brains have gotten smaller, apparently. But yes, anyway, that was my final album, Abject Cruelty from Last Retch. Fucking great death metal, just a really great, solid death metal album, and. Yeah, for somebody like me that I love that particular style of death metal where it's just real heavy and it's got the groove in it. At times, it does it for me. That's the kind of death metal that does it for me. So there you go. That's my final album of the episode.
Well, my final album is one from I think 2013, something like that.
2013.
Sorry, not 2013, 2023. Oh. Fucking hell. There you go.
It's like you're
number dyslexia. And they were recommended to me by Dio Fernandez, who plays in a absolutely brilliant UK band called Temper Shot, who are like urban thrash, fucking absolutely brilliant. Check them out. And he was like, "Oh, check this album out. I think you might like this." And I messaged him back after one listen and went, "It's not shit."
That's the big Howard H. Smith stamp of approval. It's not shit.
Right there. Well, I've since gone on to order the CD. I think they're Polish from memory. The band are called Destroyers of All, and the album is called In Darkness We Remain. And there are I don't really know how to describe this. It's not thrash. Some of it's quite contemporary. There's almost some new metal overtones occasionally, but like very minimal. But still, they're still there. And what I like about it is I'm a big one for variety.
Yeah.
And on this album, when I stick a song of this onto my my radio show that I do for my patrons, patreon.com/Howard H. Smith. Sign up for free or sign up for just $5 and get love letters from me. So I do.
I haven't gotten a love letter recently.
No, you haven't. You don't pay enough. I got two radio shows a month, an hour long. Anyway, whenever I go to play a song from these guys on there from this album, I always sit with the album flicking through it going, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Shouldn't that one? No. Next one. Oh, no. I played that last time. All right. Oh, about this one. No, I played that the time before. And I find myself struggling to to pick a song because they've all got something about them
That's a good problem
that
to
I
have.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing about the album that I do like is the variety. Is there's songs that are like up tempo and it's like, okay, that's very close to speed thrash and it's cool. They can do that. It's mid pace bangers. They can do that. And then there's just I don't know. Again, one describe if they were a footballer, and by that I mean the sport that's played by the rest of the world, not just one continent.
Yeah.
If they're a footballer, I would say they are one of those players that isn't brilliant at anything, but is really fucking good at everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it is such a solid record, and that sounds like I'm damning them with faint praise. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a great album. Really like it. Don't know why. They seem to be so small, so unheard of.
There's so many fucking bands.
Yeah.
Like, there are bands that out there that I discover, and I'm like, how would I have ever found this if some other band hadn't mentioned them, or like with Last Retch, if I hadn't gotten that sent to me as a promo, I wouldn't have known who they are because there's so many fucking bands. So
yeah, and I, like I said, they were recommended to me by somebody else, and I was like, cool, I'll give them a go, and thank you, Dio. I mean, you can't get a more sort of metal name than that, can you? I mean, you had to love metal if your name's Dio Fernandez. But top dude, recommended this, and I ended up ordering the CD, having that shipped over. Absolutely love it, totally worthwhile. It's one of those albums that like digitally, it sounds great. CD sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really good quality. Really, really, good song structures, well written, well performed. Mm-hmm. Great. Very impressed. Very impressed. And one last shout out.
Oh, cool.
To a band who I was listening to today because they gave us a shout out, which was very cool. I say us as in Acid Rain. Mm-hmm. And the band is called Alarum. That is ALARUM. So basically alarm, but with a U stuck in the end. Alarum. And they have an EP called Recontinue, and it's really cool. It's proggy, it's heavy, and they're Australian, and not enough Aussie bands get.
Oh, I know.
They
Sorry.
What was that?
It's R-nar. That's how you say it when you're Australian. R-nar.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, you were doing an accent.
I fucked it up the first time. Never mind. I'm not good at those kind of things.
Yes, everyone's well aware of that now, mate. Alarum. I checked out that one of our albums was in a post by them saying like, oh, these are old school classics, which is like amazing because we were in there with like Nuclear Assault, DRI, and just like all those albums are better than ours. And so I just thought I'd see who why are we on this? Who's this Alarum guy? Oh, it's a band. Oh, yeah. I'll go and check them out. Oh man, they're good. They're good. So EP Alarum, it's a few years old, but without a doubt worth checking out. High quality stuff from Australia.
Nice. Yeah. See, there's all this metal happening all around the world, and I say metal, it's music, rock music in general, happening all around the world from so many bands, and like I feel sorry for a lot of these younger bands because it's like, how do you fucking stand out? And there's no guarantee of you making a living off of this anymore. It's.
Sorry, I fucked up. It's not an EP. It's an 11-track album, 44 minutes long.
Okay.
I don't know what I thought it was an EP. I'm full of shit. Check it out. Check it out if you like kind of proggy heavy shit. Then get in there.
Yeah, but the best thing I can say for those of you out there that agree and have a hard time finding bands, and there's so many bands out there, literally go find Alarum, find their socials, do that little thing where it's like recommended. You'll find bands that are friends with them, other bands. Like I do that. I'll go down a wormhole some days where I'm just like trying to find, especially bands from like my area, because there's so many, and I live here, but I still don't know them. So I'm always like, who are they friends with? Who are they? And like, because I just, that's one way to keep, obviously you're not going to like everything, but it is one of those ways that, maybe you'll find that band that's like getting zero fucking exposure, and all of, and every little bit counts. So I'm not even in the game anymore, and I'm, if I had a band, it would be, I'd be awful, but I'm just glad I don't have to worry about it anymore. But it makes me I feel for these other bands. That's why I'm so just like, go listen to these guys and go buy their shit. Even if you go, order a CD, do whatever, order a T-shirt, because it's just, it feels, daunting being in a band.
We're going to put out 2026's most criminally underrated album next year. I'm all ready for it. I'm all ready for people to say to me, "Are you disappointed that it hasn't been more successful?"
You heard it here, folks. Metal Injection and Metal Storm and all of those sites. Howard announced new Acid Rain 2026.
Yeah, new Acid Rain 2026. Set to be the most overlooked and critically underrated album of 2026, because that's what we do.
Well, it's not going to be overlooked or underrated by me.
Well, exactly. That's why you're going to be, as last time, you're going to get an advanced copy. Got to fucking record it first. Got to finish writing it first. But, it's in the works. That's all I got to say.
Lucky for you guys, you don't have band members that are off being in Pantera and shit like that are making it take forever.
Well, you're joking, aren't you? Our drummer left and joined Venom Inc. And it took us. So that put a 6 month fucking stick in the spokes.
Yeah. I was just making a reference to like finally, like there's a report that Anthrax is done. I was like, you're finally done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Another report that Anthrax's album's finished, and yet some more underwhelming comments from Joey Belladonna.
He's a character.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so yes, look forward to that Acid Rain 2026. Hopefully, I like it, because I'm just gonna have to do a review on Old Bollocks about how shitty it is if I don't end up liking it.
Well, I'm way ahead of you. You can tell me how shit it is, and I'll be able to tell you exactly why.
Let's break it down.
We'll do a whole episode on it.
This was a bad choice. Explain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this song where you talk about undressing. What the hell's going on there?
This song where you talk about how much you love Donald Trump. Was this
yes.
on purpose?
Well, we did change the title of our old song on a demo called Two Minded Takeover. We did change that to Trump Minded Takeover.
I remember that.
Around the time of the last of his first election. But anyway, let's not go there.
I'm sorry, we got political. I'm sorry. People are going to get turned off. All right.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good reason for us to call it. We've
Well, the other good reason is that, as you can see, I am rapidly disappearing as it gets darker here.
Yeah, because it's like fucking it's high noon over here. It's like sun.
Well, it's only 7:30 here, and it's the summer, but it looks like it's going to be a thunderstorm, so that's why it's got incredibly dark.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bring in your pets and your plants and everything before they get flooded. Anyway. All right.
Cool.
Thanks everybody for watching on the YouTube side and for listening on the podcast side.
Thanks, listeners.
Or if you're listening when Howard posts it in his Patreon, because you hear it, I believe you hear it a little early when you have the Patreon. So hello to you, to Patreon folk.
Yeah. Hello early.
Yeah. Hello early. But everybody else, thanks for listening and watching. And
thanks for listening and watching. Hopefully you've heard some stuff that you might go and check out. I know I have. I'm going to be checking out Pay With Your Face.
Ready for Death's the name of the band. Yes.
Yeah. And the new Fishbone album. Who would have thunk it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
And Destroyers of All. Get that shit checked out.
Destroyers of All. All right.
And Sodom.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.